Our opening words this morning are by Eric A. Heller Wegner. Blessed is the fire that burns in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit, touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every life. Welcome to worship this morning.
Good morning, buenos dias. It's my pleasure to invite you to rise as body and spirit allow and join in singing our opening hymn, number 298, Wake Now My Senses. Senses and hear the earth call, feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving as love shows us now. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now, my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race.
Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online. My name is Tony Brumfield. You go ahead.
Pues muy buenos días y bienvenidos a todos a la primera Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de San Diego, donde adoramos cada domingo en South Bay, en Hillcrest y en línea.
My name is Tony Brumfield, and I use the pronouns he, him, his. A special welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. Please fill out the welcome card in your order of service.
Yo me llamo Marshall Voigt y uso el pronombre él. Una bienvenida muy especial a todos que están con nosotros por primera vez. Les extendemos la invitación de rellenar el formulario que está en el orden de servicio.
Our community is a vital, diverse, multi-generational congregation without borders, with a mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world.
Somos una congregación compuesta de personas de distintas identidades racializadas y culturas, personas de diversas orientaciones sexuales e identidades de género, personas de varias habilidades mentales y físicas.
We are creators of community and compassion, and though we can fall short, we're committed to practicing an affirming welcome to all.
Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos esta mañana en la tierra de los Kumeyaay, quienes continúan viviendo en todo su territorio. Al emprender este viaje juntos, mantengamos en nuestros corazones y mentes el pueblo Kumeyaay.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay, who continue to live throughout their territories. May the light of this candle shine for our commitment to the Kumeyaay people and to justice and equity for Indigenous people everywhere.
And it's my pleasure to invite you once more to rise as body and spirit allow and join us in singing our church hymn and reciting our aspiration. From all who dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue. De todos bajo el gran sol, surja esperanza, fe, amor, verdad y belleza cantando de cada tierra, cada voz. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Que el amor sea la doctrina de esta iglesia, la búsqueda de la verdad, su sacramento, y el servicio, su oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y ayudarnos mutuamente en comunidad. A eso aspiramos.
Good morning, friends. Are there any children or youth who would like to come up and join me for our time for all ages? Oh, I see them. Whew, come on down. Good morning. Good morning. Whoa, good morning. We've had a few weeks that were light. I love it. Good morning. So today we're thinking about how we do justice or good things for other people to make the world a better place. And there are different groups of people in the world who do that kind of work. Like you could join a whole bunch of organizations that would help do good things for people and help people in the world. But we wonder today, is there something different about doing that kind of work when we do it as a congregation, as a people who believe the same things? And so I have a story for us today that thinks about the different reasons that people might do good things in the world and maybe how it's different when we do that together as a community of faith. And it's called We Might by some guy named Tony Bianca. And here it is. There are lots of reasons why people do good things. We might do them because someone told us we had to. We might do them because they make us look good. We might do them because someone we look up to inspired us. We might do them because we're angry. We might do them because of peer pressure. Or we might do them just because we believe it's what's right. We might even find a group of people who believe the same things. Then, working together with our shared beliefs, we might do something mighty. The end. So I'm proud of a lot of the work that we do in our congregation and a lot of the work that we do even in RE to help other people feel welcome and part of our community. And I wonder if you can do some of that work now. Can you up here stand up with me so we can help lead the congregation in our affirmation? I need your hands. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios, universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I invite all the children and youth who would like to join me and their other leaders on the patio for religious education. For the youngest students' parents, Miss Kate is sick today, so I'm going to have everybody in 113 if you're looking for them. All right. Oh, do you want to come with me? You want to come with me? Pinkies?
So this morning we have a few special announcements. Lay ministers are available after the service every Sunday to offer a listening presence. This morning's lay minister is Les Vivian. Today, starting at 1 p.m., the board will hold a forum on Zoom about the constitutional amendments discussed at the congregational meeting in January. These amendments will be voted on February 18th. Do you have questions? I invite you to join the board and the finance committee to learn more. The Zoom link is in the window. The shelter starts in just less than a month. From March 10th to the 24th, our church will provide shelter and meals for up to 12 guests for 2 weeks. We can really use your help. I invite you to stop by the patio this morning to find out how you can volunteer. There are jobs of all sizes, providing a meal, serving as a greeter, being an overnight host, helping to wash bedding, shop for food or supplies. Maybe you're not able to volunteer, but you'd love to contribute. We are especially in need of twin-size fitted sheets and washcloths. They could be new or gently used and washed. We're also collecting new toiletries that you can donate at the bins in either campus. And monetary donations can help us to buy food for breakfast and lunch and other needed supplies. I hope that you will find a way to be part of this important justice ministry of the church.
One way we live our values is by sharing our offering each week with a local organization working for justice. In January and February, parts of San Diego, especially Southeast San Diego, experienced catastrophic flooding causing damage to homes, vehicles, businesses, farms, and communities. This month, our offering will be received in support of the San Diego Flood Response Fund, organized by the San Diego Foundation. The fund will make emergency grants to nonprofit service organizations engaged in disaster response and relief throughout San Diego County. You may donate this morning here in person by credit card using the dip jars or by cash or check using the donation boxes. If you'd like assistance, please raise your hand. You may also donate online on our church's website, firstusandiego.org. Thank you for your generosity. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received. My name is Tony, and I'm a longtime member of this church. For me, justice work means work that makes the world a safer place for everyone, a place where every person can be all that they are, fulfilled and whole, a place where they don't need to hide parts of who they are. We don't live in that world right now, maybe with individuals, but not at school or work, on the street, or at church. I learned one of my most valuable lessons while volunteering at the San Diego LGBT Community Center. In addition to support groups for LGBT people, the Community Center also has what they call SOFA support groups, S-O-F-F-A, with 2 Fs. A SOFA group is for significant others, friends, family, and allies of LGBT people. I learned that LGBT people have a coming out process, but significant others, friends, family, and allies also have a coming out process where they learn to love and accept the LGBT person in their life, just as that person is. The coming out process for significant others, friends, family, and allies goes beyond acceptance. It includes getting up the courage to tell the other people in your life that your brother, your auntie, your child, your friend is LGBT. It means supporting them and defending them, but it also means advocating for all LGBT people. For me, this is spiritually grounded work because I have had to change me, and I have changed me by developing real relationships with LGBT people. I did this by volunteering at the LGBT Community Center and joining with others in making my family, my school, my workplace, and my church a safer place for LGBT people. For me, that's part of being a Unitarian Universalist.
Before we enter a time of meditation, I want to extend an invitation to a couple of events through which you might be changed. First is 2 weeks from last night, soprano Tamara Haskin will be offering a concert here. I cannot encourage you highly enough to attend. Tamara's voice is gorgeous. She is an incredible musician and performer, and you will want to be here. That's Saturday, February 24th. And the next event is Sunday, March 3rd at 4 p.m., also in here. Every single church ensemble, let's see if I can do it, the Handbells, the South Bay Singers, the Jewel Tones, the Women's Choir, and the Chalice Choir will be performing a concert here in this space. That's Sunday, March 3rd. I heard Tony talk about his path towards justice, and we have a couple of songs that speak right to that. And some others that will make you smile and feel deeply, and we hope that you'll join us on February 24th for Tamara Haskin and March 3rd for our choir concert. With that said, I invite you to settle into your seats with a couple of deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in.
I invite you to keep breathing with me. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. Peace. Love. Peace. Love. Continue breathing, moving at your own pace, feeling every single cell of your body, your mind, your spirit filling with peace on the in-breath, sending out love on the out-breath. Perhaps bringing to mind someone in your life who's struggling, someone who's suffering. Breathing in peace, sending love to them. Peace, sending out love to someone who's suffering. And then you might bring to mind someone, somewhere that is suffering on this planet. People who are suffering from war, from violence, from hatred. The earth that's suffering. Wherever you want to send that love and breathe in peace. And imagine love flowing out of you to anywhere in the world that needs it. Breathing in peace, sending out love. Breathing in peace, sending out love.
Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. Let us sing this song for the loving of the world, that we may love as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our loving. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our loving. Let us sing this song for the healing of the world, that we may heal as one, that we may heal as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing, and our lives will feel the echo of our loving, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning.
I first came to Unitarian Universalism as a Zen Buddhist and a labor organizer. I had been living for 3 years in a residential Zen center here in National City, sitting meditation with my Sangha most mornings and evenings, and participating in silent retreats every month. It was a time in my life of really deep spiritual practice. At the same time, I was working for the Justice for Janitors campaign as a strategic researcher and community organizer. I organized alongside workers on grassroots campaigns for rights in the workplace, access to health insurance, living wages, and comprehensive immigration reform. I was equally passionate about spiritual practice and social justice. And yet somehow these two parts of who I was, these two fundamental parts of me, felt deeply divided. In the morning, I sat in silence, opening myself up to wisdom and insight and healing. And by the afternoon, I was leading chants with a bullhorn in my hand as we took over intersections, fighting for a fair contract. But somehow inside of me, I knew that these two parts of myself were connected, that they belonged to one calling. So I stepped back from my role for a little while as an organizer, and I entered into the Master's in Peace and Justice Studies program at the University of San Diego. I focused my studies on grassroots movements that were integrating organizing and public art and spiritual practice. And throughout that year, I found myself praying. I would say, show me a way to bring these two parts of myself, spirituality and social justice, together in me and in my work. Now, one day, my Sangha mate knocked on the door of my cottage, and she said, I saw this job description. I'm pretty sure it's yours. Now, she handed me a piece of paper, and it was the job description for the Social Justice Ministry Team Coordinator at the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego. The day that I graduated from my master's program, I was offered the job. This is how I came to Unitarian Universalism in my mid-20s. It was here in this congregation that I fell in love with our faith. I fell in love with a faith that embraces spiritually grounded justice work, that does not understand spirituality and justice as separate, but integral to each other. So I want to explore together this morning how these seemingly different ways of moving in the world are connected. Now, for me, the root of both is suffering. Often, what draws us into spiritual practice and into religious community is some experience of suffering. Maybe someone close to us dies. We go through a divorce, a health crisis, a national tragedy. We grapple with addiction or mental illness. We experience trauma. We struggle under the crushing weight of oppression and injustice. We have some pain that lives in our body, our mind, or spirit that longs to experience healing. We yearn for a place where we can be held in love in the midst of our pain, where we can ask our deepest questions, where we can seek together for insight and greater understanding, where we can learn practices that will calm our minds and our bodies, a place where we are lured, invited into our wholeness. I believe it is this desire for healing and transformation, this longing to be our full, authentic, alive, and liberated selves. This is what the spiritual life is about. And it's why I believe that we are here in church together. But it's also suffering, sometimes our own, or witnessing the suffering of others that calls us into the streets to decry injustice, inequity, and oppression, to oppose hatred and violence, to put our bodies on the line for liberation. Because I believe that this longing, this internal longing for wholeness and transformation is not just for ourselves alone, not just for us as individuals, but collective. We yearn for healing for all of us. Now, one meditation retreat, the bell rang much like it did just a few minutes ago, and was marking the period at the end of a period of silent meditation. I had heard that very same bell hundreds of times before. But this time, I felt the vibration of the bell inside my body, as if the bell and I were one. There was no separation between us. I knew then, right then, that we belonged to each other, that we belonged to everything, and everything belongs to me. We are not separate. Something about that changed me. I began to wonder if we really are connected. If this interdependent web we talk about is not just a metaphor, but that it's alive and real. How shall I live? What does this ask of me? Spiritual insight is not just for ourselves alone. Spiritual insight shifts our understanding and then asks us to change the way we live. As Unitarian Universalists, our spiritual understanding calls us to live our most deeply held values, like honoring the inherent worth and dignity of every person and all beings, and the interconnected web of life of which we are a part. If we know that we are connected and that all of us, every single being, has value, we are inevitably called into the work for justice. Now, I was introduced to another way of thinking about this connection between spirituality and social justice at my first day of seminary at Starr King School for the Ministry. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, who was then serving as the president, started orientation by inviting us into the sacred work of unfolding our full powers of the soul. Unfolding our full powers of the soul. She declared that to choose to cultivate our full becoming was a radical act in the midst of the dehumanizing forces of our time. She suggested that to embrace full aliveness for ourselves and for others is justice. Now, Dr. Parker's theology builds on the teaching of one of our early Unitarian forebearers, William Ellery Channing. Channing believed that we are made in the image of a loving and divine creator, that each of us has a spark of the divine inside our bodies, and that God manifests on earth through us when we heed the pull of our souls towards greater wholeness. He called on 19th century Unitarians to commit to lives of spiritual growth and learning and justice making. He preached often about the powers of the soul and the lifelong spiritual work of unfolding them. Now, Channing was deeply concerned also about oppression, and that deprived people of this human right to live freely and fully. He decried the injustices of the class system and slavery, and in one of his final addresses he wrote, "What is the end and the essence of life? It is to expand all of our faculties and affections. It is to grow, to gain by exercise new energy, new intellect, new love. It is to hope, to strive to bring out that which is within us. In other words, it is to be free. Slavery is thus at war with the true life of human nature." For Channing, the end and essence of life is to unfold these full powers of the soul. Anything that gets in the way is unjust and must be dismantled. The spirit of justice work is this desire for healing, for freedom and wholeness that is not just for ourselves alone, but for all of us. In this, our spiritual life and our work for justice unfold together, both equally sacred. So how do we engage in work, in our justice work, in a way that is spiritually grounded? How exactly is it different to work for justice as a people of faith than in a secular nonprofit? First, I think we center relationships. We take time to tend our connection to one another and to the earth. We intentionally cultivate relationships with those who are directly impacted by injustice and oppression. And then we listen. We share our stories with one another. We allow ourselves to be changed by the people and the places we come into relationship with. Our social justice partnerships grow out of knowing one another and caring about each other. It's about solidarity, not saving. It's about relationships, not issues. I think in spiritually grounded justice work, we also make room to feel, to grieve, to let our hearts break open, to allow our anger and our rage to flow. All of these feelings tell us that something we love and someone we value has been desecrated. We know that these tragedies and these injustices, they hurt. And in order to bear witness to so much suffering, we need ritual and we need spiritual practice. There is enough time to honor the impacts of oppression and injustice, to be there for one another, to tend to our bodies and our souls. And from there, we can discern how to take action. Working for justice and equity is an essentially creative act. We talk a lot about interrupting harm and dismantling systems and structures of oppression, but we also want to create life-giving ways of being for our communities that do not yet exist. We don't just say no to what we don't want, we dream together about what will help us thrive. This is why I believe that art and music and dance are so integral to movements for social change. If we want to build something that is not yet here, we need our imaginations and we need to dream together. We become creators of this new way. I also think spiritually grounded justice work says there is no one right way to work for justice. There have to be these different pathways and channels, and there has to be room for people of all ages and all abilities to make a difference. It often helps me to think about social justice as a spectrum. There are things like direct service, embodied in the work of our food pantry and all the different things that go into that. Education, like the consciousness-raising work of our Joni Towards Wholeness team around racism and oppression. Witness, showing up at the border or the detention center to protest inhumane immigration and asylum policies. Advocacy, working for ballot initiatives, lobbying elected officials, writing out those get out the vote postcards, or speaking before the city council. Community organizing, the approach of the San Diego Organizing Project, where we identify communal issues and then work collectively for local change. All of these different pathways contribute to a tapestry of communal healing and repair. All of them are needed. All of them are valuable. All are sacred. I also think the process matters. Justice is not just an end or an outcome, but a process. Even when we lose a ballot initiative or a campaign, what we build through the process matters. The relationships, the leadership, the deeper understanding of root causes, the networks of solidarity that strengthen us. Our strategies, though diverse, also need to be rooted in those most deeply held values. Our process becomes a living and breathing embodiment of our spiritual truths. Finally, I believe that we grow spiritually not only by acting for justice, but by reflecting on that action. We make our lives and our experiences a sacred text to learn from. Through new relationships and new experiences, we gain insight about our greater sense of purpose. We can feel our interdependence, not just on the meditation cushion, but also listening to another person's story or providing a meal for our shelter guests. We know in our bodies that we are not separate and that we belong to one another. Over the past 14 years, my love for Unitarian Universalism has only grown and deepened. We are people committed to transforming suffering for ourselves and for one another. We know that healing can happen right here in this sanctuary, it can happen on the meditation cushion, or it can happen in the streets. We embrace a spiritually grounded approach to justice. May this church be a place that supports, both the full unfolding of the powers of our soul, and also encourage us to get out there into the street to make it possible for everyone. May we make justice and equity come alive. Blessed be, and go in peace.
They're very inspiring words. Shall we sing about them together? Let us rise in body or spirit and join together in our closing hymn. Hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. Sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Let us go forth and tend this sacred flame inside ourselves, this flame of courage, this flame for justice, this flame for freedom and for healing, for ourselves and for all people. Blessed be, and go enjoy.